All right. Get ready to start pretty soon. I see we going live here on the Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Eventbrite, whole bunch of spots. That's what we're here for, indeed. So if you're in the Eventbrite page, if you're on the Facebook page, if you're on whatever page you're on, get ready to hear some good news. I'm gonna learn you a little something today. Yeah, just give it a little bit of time. Give it a little time. See folks still filing in. Somebody said they're trying to get they're trying to get it up and running. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the countdown pretty soon. All right, y'all. All right. As they say. All right, everybody, welcome. Glad to have y'all here today. Like I said, we are live on we at Twitch, we on YouTube, we on Facebook. Glad to have folks here. And if this is the replay, hopefully your questions will get answered. Even if you are watching on the replay, I still encourage you to type your questions because either myself or my intern staff will come and answer your questions so that you will still see the answers. All right. So going to jump right into this so we can get it started. I'm glad that everybody is here. All right. So go ahead and get this party started quickly. Right. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about starting a career in cybersecurity, even if you don't have a computer science degree or even cybersecurity experience. And you'll find out that was actually my story when I got into this field. All right. So the truth is, cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing industries, not just in the United States, but in the entire world. And with the boom of technology comes the boom of cybersecurity. As you look around, you're looking at this, whether it be on a smartphone, a computer, a tablet. Think about how that would have looked 10, 15 years ago. Think about how many times you've seen someone that has one of those devices that you're looking on right now. Has been hacked, has been compromised. Even as we see stuff that we thought was quote unquote safe, they have gotten hacked recently. I mean, who would have thought that the gas prices would have been affected by a hack, or our government, or some of your favorite places that you like to shop? I mean, even just finding out that the local police department was recently hacked. So that means that there is opportunity for you to get a job. To be real, you to have one of those careers, like myself, like many others, who have done this. And so, according to the Tech Republic report, data breaches are increasing more than 50% annually. So if you think about it, that means if the breaches are increasing more and more, that means the job to fix them, the job to prevent them, the job to detect them is growing more and more and a lot faster. So, and that makes our job very, very important. Again, it's not like they're just, doing like they used to do back in the day, where they were just getting the Joe Blow off the street and attacking them. No, they're attacking everybody. I mean, they're going after governments. If they're going after the government, then you know that somebody's going to have to protect them. So, the truth is, right now you are in the right place, and because today's training is perfect for students who have an interest in computers and or cybersecurity. Um, it's perfect for people um, who are professional and they want to make a change in their career, or maybe you excel in problem solving and critical thinking, and you want to turn that into a lucrative career. You don't just want to, you know, you don't just want to have the skill. You want to make the skill good for you. You want to make that skill work for you. You want to make that skill make you money. All right. So that's what I'm looking for. It's good to be smart. It's good to be like that critical thinker. But if you just use it on your own, it does not make you anything. I mean, it could be doing better for you. And it's not all about money. But hey, one of my favorite authors said, money is not the most important thing in life, but it is right near oxygen on the gotta have it list, right? So the truth is, you are worth this. Um, so because you're worth this, there's a few things that I want you to do. Number one, close your email. Don't let anything distract you right now. They will be there in the next 30 minutes. Trust me. Close all those 20 browser windows that you have open. Hey, I'm guilty of that too. I click tab, click tab, click tab. Close all those tabs right now. You can restore them later. Close the door, whether it be a front door, the bedroom door, the car door, whatever door it is. Just shut out everything that will cause you not to be able to get all this information that I'm going to give you today. Put the phone and or social media on silent. As distracting and as fun as social media can be, it has a time and a place. And if you are a parent, ask your children not to kill themselves for the next hour. I mean, we won't be here for a whole hour. You get an extra 15, 20 minutes apiece, right? So the big question that you may be asking yourself right now is, why should you listen to me? Why listen to this guy? Who is he? A regular dude with locks? I don't know. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my journey, all right? The story. Um, so in 2006, when I first got into this field, I went to the Great Hampton University, as you can see. Came out a little bit before that, but I had no computer experience, as you can see. My bachelor's in political science, not computer science. So yeah, no, I was not a button pusher. I was a talker. That's what I did. I had some computer experience. Yes, I knew how to work numerous different programs, and I had done some graphic stuff, but nothing even close to cybersecurity. Zero cybersecurity experience. I didn't even know what cybersecurity really was, to be honest with you. I had no certifications. This was just me getting into it. I was blessed by my pastor to be able to get into this field because one of the members of our assembly, he was the principal at what at that time was the largest minority consultant firm in the country, and he brought me in, took a chance on me. The same way many of you are going to take a chance on yourselves to make this happen. And so let's talk about today. I'm a certified professional in the areas of cybersecurity, IT assurance, and IT auditing. I'm a CISA, which is Certified Information Systems Auditor. I'm a certified ethical hacker and certified penetration tester. So I do all of those things. I have over a decade of experience, coming up on 15 years, as you all can see, 25,000 hours of work. We're actually close to 30,000 hours of paid consultant work now. Hundreds of hours and now thousands of hours study, research, and development. Because right now, I spend hours every day developing these things so I can be able to teach you all even better. and I'm the founder and owner of Learn From a Hacker and Prototype Consulting Group. So ask me what I do. I do ethical hacking and penetration testing, and that's also what I teach. Security awareness and training, meaning I go into organizations and I help them to protect themselves against threats by teaching their people how not to get hacked. Yes, I know how to teach you how not to get your Instagram hacked or your Facebook hacked. I do IT auditing, where I support financial systems audits that are for CPA firms. I do business development, process improvement, and disaster recovery and business continuity. And yes, you'd be surprised how important cybersecurity is even in that. So, and who I do it for. These are just some of the companies that I've worked for over the past 15 years, and there are a whole lot more, but these are some of the more notable ones, as you see, from Fortune 500s to nonprofits like National Council of Negro Women, Zeta Phi Beta, even Howard University, the other HU. And the truth of the matter is, I went from where I am to where I am, where I was to where I am, and that can be your story too, right? But let's not just talk about the story. One thing that really matters to a lot of people is, does it pay? Like, I'm not just talking about the intrinsic the feel good that you get from a job well done. No, I'm talking about actually money. Does it pay? First, let me tell you, cybersecurity is one of the only fields that has a 0% unemployment rate, meaning there are more jobs out there for people than there are people to fill them. So yes, it does pay. Now on the money side, the founder of No Wire Security, Eric Geyer, he estimates a more conservative 50 to 100,000 per year in the first years of working, depending on your employer experience and education. And because the demand is so high, that number often goes up. The average starting salary for a certified ethical hacker is $95,000, according to EC Council Senior Director Stephen Graham. And as of October 11th, 2019, the average annual pay for an ethical hacker in the United States was $115,571 per year. So that means some more, some less, but the money is out there. You can get six figures in this very, very quickly should you apply yourself, get the job done, and do the things that I'm even going to tell you about today. So how did I get here? So first, I took an interest. I was working for the firm, and we were hiring the ethical hacking out, and I wanted to do it. And then I took a chance. It was like, all right, well, I'm gonna jump out there and just try to learn. Think about learning it. Then, of course, I took a class. Yes, I went to a boot camp, a 5-day boot camp, just like the one that I teach, to learn exactly what it was and what it takes to get there. And then most importantly, I took control. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to take control of the future. Take control of your future right now. Take your destiny in your own hands. Don't leave your future in the hands of industries where you don't know which way that they're going. We know cybersecurity is going up. I don't know about a lot of these other companies. If you've been working at a brick and mortar, and yeah, right now they have you teleworking, but at some point they may want to replace you for automated system. But guess what? Every automated system needs cybersecurity. That's all I'm saying. But with skills in cybersecurity, you can be sure that not only you always have a job, but you'll also be able to protect yourselves and others from emerging threats. One of the reasons that I don't get hacked is because I know what hackers do, and I'm not, trying to test nobody like, oh, I'm too big to hack. No, it's not like that. It's the fact that I think in a different way. Hackers, we think in a completely different way. So, I know how to make a password. I know what to type. I know what not to click. I know what to pay attention to at all times. So here's some things you've probably heard about us, that you have to be great at computers to start in cybersecurity. Jobs in cybersecurity, they're isolated from people. You have to have a degree in computer science. It takes years to learn how to hack, and you're too young or you're too old to get into cybersecurity. But as I've said before, you can actually become an ethical hacker in less than 2 months. But today I'm going to challenge you and say, I can make you an ethical hacker in less than 1 week. Yes, I said less than 1 week. I'm not even joking. That's what we can do. So let's talk about the truth to answer those questions that we just had. Whatever you're doing now, you can likely translate into cybersecurity. Like I said, I was working in political science. You can go ahead, if you want to type in a profession right now, I can tell you, I can literally tell you, what it does and what it can do in the area of cybersecurity, especially in the area of ethical hacking. Just to be real with you. Okay, let's see. All right, politicians. So yeah, politician, you have to be able to network. One of the things that politicians do, we social engineer. We sit there and I'll tell you about social engineering later on, but that is a skill that hackers do. Like if you are a sanitation worker, knowing when and how to get things out of the garbage. Yes, dumpster diving is one of the biggest things that's done in cybersecurity. Go ahead, go ahead. You keep throwing them out there, and I'll say them. There are a lot of ways to do that. Um, Next, jobs in cybersecurity are isolated from people. No, actually, a lot of what we do involves interacting with people. Like I said, I just talked about um, social engineering, meaning you have to talk to people, whether it be through text, through email, on the web, or even in person. Performing bonehead tests, which I won't. That's one of the things that I teach in on day 4, how to perform a bonehead test on people. Um, Next, you have to have a degree in computer science. The truth is, you don't even have to have any degree, even though I do recommend it because certain contracts warrant it. There are certain certifications that don't require any type of degree. Like, as a matter, I actually am getting some of my interns who are in high school prepared to get certifications before they get any type of degrees. Like that's how it works in our field. It takes years to learn how to hack. Like I said, I can probably turn you into a job-ready ethical hacker before the end of the summer. Ask my interns. That's what they do, right? Excuse me. See my phone ringing off the hook. You're too young or too old to get into cybersecurity. No, I've had students as young as 11 and as old as 58 that I'm teaching how to do this. So no, there is no age limit to it. We can make it happen for you. And it does not take years to learn how to hack. Yes, you can be doing it for years. And it's always something to learn. But the truth is, by the end of this webinar, I'll have you ready to get started. I'll have your mind changed about ethical hacking, and you thinking differently about how you surf the internet, plain and simple. All right. So let's talk about what a hacker is. And this is the first thing. Before you ever, learn or do anything, you want to know exactly what it is that you're looking for. What are you doing? It's a person who spends a great deal of time tinkering with hardware and or software, either to develop more efficient programs or to bypass unnecessary steps to get the job done more quickly. Um, you know, and you can be a white hat. Now, my most common example is the water bottle. Let's talk about hacking a water bottle. So if people only think about hacking when they're talking about a device, like somebody getting into a computer or a network or something like that. But this water bottle was meant to be drank like this. I was thirsty. This was a good excuse. Now, if I wanted to hack this water bottle to make it easier for myself, all I would do is grab a straw, put the straw in there, or stick a hole right here and put the straw in there, or just let the water pour out. All of that. That's what hacking is. It'll get the water out a little quicker and a little easier. That's it. And the only real difference between an ethical hacker and a criminal hacker is permission. We get expressed permission from our clients to do what we do, and we do it legally. Right. That's the only difference. But when it comes to skills, when it comes to what we're supposed to do, that's the only difference. So let's keep it going. So the job of an ethical hacker, we're called the ultimate security professional. We find and exploit vulnerabilities and weaknesses in various systems across the board. Whenever I do these type of things, it's not just me. It's not just me hacking into the computer, the same type of computer every time, the same type of network every time. I have to, it's a constant change. It's a constant moving target. But hey, I enjoy it. It's fun. But we use the same skills as a malicious hacker or black hat, as I talked about before, but we use them in a legitimate and lawful manner. With express permission. You always hear me stress that no, I will not hack Sally Mae. No, I will not hack Navient, Nelnet, none of that type of stuff. People always talk about that, but that's never a line that we cross. And we're a programmer who legally attempts to break into a computer system or network in order to find its vulnerabilities. Next, we expose vulnerabilities that the target entity can mitigate before they're illegally or accidentally exposed, because not every vulnerability is something that somebody exposes on purpose. Sometimes it's something they do on accident. They think that they're doing it correctly, but but they're not. And help to inform and protect clients from cyber threats. Um, from cyber threats is by providing recommendations for system security improvement. People call me all the time asking what software should they use for their passwords. Can they go to this website? Should they buy this? Should they buy that? I mean, that's really what we do. So, what type of jobs do we end up in? First and foremost, a network administrator or manager. Most of the time, if you have your network being run by an ethical hacker, it's going to be protected pretty well. Security investigator, dun, dun, yes, CSI. Penetration tester, which is what I do. Web security administrator, running web apps. Data security specialist. Computer and digital forensic investigator, could be on CSI. IT security administrator, consultant, or manager like myself. I'm a full-time IT security consultant. Network defense technicians, meaning you can actually build a network defense system, or social engineer. Again, as we talked about, someone who very rarely touches the computer, but they're able to do things themselves to hack the human mind. All right. Now, what does it take to be an ethical hacker? We do want to talk about that. You have to have a sharp mind, the ability to think on your feet, an ethical compass. That is very important. We don't want people who are going to sit there again, try to break into Sally Mae. It's just not going to happen. You need to always be willing to learn and expand your knowledge. Our system, our field is forever growing. Systems are always changing, and you have to always want to know and do more in order to stay ahead of the game. Networking skills. I'm not talking about the routers and switches and all of that type of thing. I'm talking about you actually being able to network with people. Talk to the CEOs, CFOs, because sometimes only you can explain to them what it is that's going on. There have been so many times where I was called into meetings, even when I first started, to speak to CEOs and CFOs to say, hey, these are the problems you have, and deliver in a way that they can understand. Education. And again, I'm not necessarily saying going to formal university to get a degree and all that. Again, those are good, but I'm talking about getting certifications, putting those letters behind your name, learning more and more, and even teaching, because as they say, you remember 90%. You remember 90% of what you teach, right? So, are you ready to get started learning? Are you ready to begin the journey to the recession-proof career? Yes, I said it. The recession-proof career in ethical hacking. Let's find out. So here's what you need on the technical side: personal computer, Windows 7 or better. I do recommend a PC with Windows 10 on it or above, 8 gigs of RAM, 100 free gigs of memory, or you can build your entire lab on Amazon Web Services for free. That's completely up to you. What I recommend is going to a pawn shop and picking up a computer and doing that. Most of the computers I use for hacking I got from the pawn shop, where they're old. It's not, you don't have to have it's good to have state of the art and all of that, but to get started, it's not necessary. I have one of my computers is almost 10 years old, and it still works perfectly in the field. So now that you know what you need, let's talk about what it takes to do this. What goes into our hacking methodology? First is planning, where you go in and You decide how you're going to attack your client. Intelligence gathering. I teach how to use Google in a way to find out information on people, on organizations, um, on companies that are your target that they don't know is public. Sometimes a lot of the vulnerabilities is what's being made public. And I'm not just talking about a regular Google search. There are ways to search Google that most people have no idea even exist, where you can find, web portals, you can find documents, you can find secret recipes, hidden webcams, all of that type of stuff that's out there. Footprinting. Now, footprinting is when we go into a system and we enumerate every single thing that's there. We like to say what's in the zoo, whether it be routers, switches, firewalls, IDSs, IPSs, workstations, printers, mobile devices, all of that stuff. We do all of it. And then from there, we enumerate. We find out what type of protocols are running on there, what type of software is running on there, all of that. Then vulnerability identification, meaning, okay, you may have, if you're on a computer that's running or network that's running, Windows NT, we're going to talk about the vulnerabilities to that, and then not just looking at what they are. And this is where we take it to the next level from just more than just a scan and putting a report together. We do vulnerability exploitation, where we go into the computer and we say, all right, I'm going to pull out this data. I'm going to pull out that data. I'm going to show you what a malicious hacker or black hat hacker would do to you. So these are all the things that we teach in our course. And of course, detection evasion, how to avoid being caught. And though we are ethical hackers, it is still important to know how not to get caught, because most of the time the client, their IT security department may not know that you're doing it. Like whoever's running their firewall, they may not know what you're doing, and so they would try to stop you. So you want to make sure that you get around them as well. All right. So before I move forward, let me tell you about my first hack. How I got started. After what happened was, after I took a course just like the one that I'm teaching, a 5-day intensive course on ethical hacking. The company I was working for, we were hired to do a penetration test, and they're like, "You ready to do it?" I'm like, "Well, I'm about to find out I'm ready or not." And it was myself and my partner who also took the course, and we went in, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, not quite sure exactly what to do, but we were able to successfully traverse their network using social engineering and and get over 10,000 FBI background checks filed. Now, this wasn't the FBI that was our client, but it was a company that used the FBI to do their background checks. And so we're sitting there seeing names, addresses, social security numbers, and all that of dignitaries. And mind you, because we're ethical, we didn't hold on to that stuff. We passed it on to the client so that they would get it. And they were very, very, very pleased in the way that we conducted ourselves and that we did this. So, and this was right out the gate, not necessarily knowing how it will work, if it will work, or anything like that. We did it and we made it happen. So that's how my first hack went. Now, the truth of the matter, I wasn't sure that I was going to be sitting there in the room with the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, who was not pleased. He wasn't happy that that we exposed that, because it meant that he wasn't necessarily doing what he was supposed to be doing. But we had a element of pride. It felt really, really good. Not to mention, we got raises and bonuses for being able to do it, which is very, very, very good. So now, can you stop and see yourself in this position? Like, I want you to see yourself in the position of that situation where you're walking in to a client, you're getting paid pretty good money, getting bonuses, you're traversing a network, you're getting in there and showing them, that you're the expert in your field, that you know how to do this, that you're the one who can make this happen. You have a major corporations or small businesses, or just the mom and pop, or just your local, 4-H club or whatever, protect themselves against bad guys. How often have you heard about somebody or some company, even small companies, getting hit hard or getting hacked and going out of business? I mean, the average record costs $437 when it's been hacked. That's how much the cost to a business is, and no place ever gets hit for one record. It's always hundreds and hundreds. So a lot of places can't, hundreds and thousands, sometimes billions of records, and a lot of places cannot recover from that. So you're able to even help to protect them. Imagine yourself sitting at the table of CEOs, giving them expert advice, telling them, hey, you might want to change this, you might want to change that. This is what I was able to do, sitting at your company, and moving forward with that. So I mean, I'm just giving this is the opportunity that I'm putting in front of you. It's up to you to take it. So, because I know that you showed up today for a reason, and maybe more than one, even though you are super busy. Like it's summertime outside. You could be outside dodging cicadas. That's just what people do these days. Cicadas are everywhere. We're trying to get around them. You could be playing dodgeball, all of that. But you showed up because you probably see the job landscape is changing and you don't want to get stuck in a dead end position. Imagine being the person who worked at Blockbuster, when everything started streaming, or imagine being the Walkman repairman when MP3s came out, when the iPod dropped. You don't want to get stuck. You want to be ahead of the curve, ahead of the game before something like this, before the field gets so packed. Like right now, there aren't as many of us as are needed. Get in, jump in, and I want to give you a head start. Even if you are, if you're a student, you could be a student, in high school, or in college. And this is something that's interesting to you. Jump in now so you could be ahead of the game. I wish I would have started when I was a teenager. I wish I would have started even in my early 20s. It took a while. In my mid 20s is when I got into, IT assurance, but I didn't actually get into cybersecurity until a few years later. So, I mean, starting as soon as possible, but then again, it is still never too late. So the great news is you have two choices. I'm going to present those two choices to you right now. Option A, you can do it yourself with what you learned today. I've given you the methodology. I've told you what a hacker is. I've even told you what you need to do and I'm going to tell you what to do to learn how to do this on your own. Um, it will, I can't say might, it will include more trial and error. You will fail a few times. You will fall on your face. Trust me, I've done it. I've messed up, different trying to make my lab or trying to, build my hacking box and all that stuff. And you might be wishing you had done better by this time next year. You will find out that you have spent more time than you thought just trying to get the basics. Or there's option B. You can fast track your results to becoming a career ready ethical hacker. Now let's talk about how that looks. This is what option A looks like. You can search YouTube, but unfortunately, YouTube has started to take down hacking tutorials. It's going against their terms of use. Hey, that's what they're allowed to do, so they're going to do it. You create your own test labs, since you have to have one of those to practice. So, you can go on AWS, you can get some boxes like I have here to try to hack on, it's a lot to do. You just study the methodologies. Go learn OWASP. Go learn PCI. Go learn OSTTM and all of those things. Learn every single one of them on your own just to try to figure it out. And then a whole lot of trial and error, because you'll be like, oh man, I thought this mattered. Like a lot of stuff you'll find out, it doesn't even matter anymore. But hey, it is what it is, right? And before all that, you just have to figure out what to study, where to find it. Like, some stuff you're looking for, like what's a watering hole attack? You wouldn't have thought of thinking about what a watering hole attack is, but it's one of the best ways to get people, but hey, if you have somebody guiding you, I can tell you, hey, you may want to learn how to do a watering hole attack if you don't web penetration, all that type of stuff. So now, before we get to questions and answers, because I know there are people who have questions and answers, let me quickly show you what's possible. Now, this is normally what I say. I'm inviting you to learn from a hacker, 7-week intensive training, where 7 weeks, I'll take you from zero to hero. However, I'm changing it up. I'm inviting you to a 5-day, yes, 5-day, 5 days, 5 days, 5-day accelerated boot camp starting Monday, July 6, 2021 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. Now, if those times don't work for you, don't worry, I got that covered. Just stick around. Trust me. So, I can teach you how to become a career-ready ethical hacker in 5 days. You can go from zero to hero in days, not weeks. And by the end of this course, you'll have the fundamentals of ethical hacking and cybersecurity, be able to perform a number of hacks and penetration tests, have marketable skills to be used in the workforce. Again, I don't give you no cookie cutter stuff. I give you the same stuff that I learned. Be able to confidently put ethical hacker on your resume. Now, why this boot camp? Number one, it's not just theory information, it's hands-on labs. You'll be doing real-world scenarios. Fully immersive experiences like boot camps help you to obtain and retain information better than, sometimes, the on-off stop-start that sometimes classrooms give you. Constant achievement boosts confidence. And the way we do it is that every day we're building on what was done the next day, and you're consistently growing and learning more. And it gives you the mind of a hacker. So let me tell you another quick story, and it's going to be real quick. It started off with a Facebook post and how this USB drive made me $150 in less than 15 minutes. Yes, that's what I said. $150 in less than 15 minutes. Yes, $10 a minute. Wow, that sounds like a lot, right? So essentially what happened was a friend of mine, they thought their computer was completely broken. They couldn't get on. They couldn't get the password. Nothing. They were locked out of it. And, there was stuff on it that they wanted, but they thought it was lost. And they posted, hey, anybody know how to get XYZ off the computer? And I said, I think I do. I DM'd them. I didn't want to embarrass myself by putting it in public. And they were like, okay, well, how much you charge? And I just said $150. And they said, okay, because it was worth that much to them. Imagine some of your most precious pictures and things of that nature being somewhere and you can't get to them. And so they brought their computer over to me. I said, go ahead and leave. I'm saying? I'll let you know when it's ready, if it was going to be ready. And because I wasn't 100% sure that it was going to work, but it was something I learned in class, so I did it. So I took that USB that I had created using, and I'll even show you how to create that in the course, stuck it in, and was able to bypass the security on the computer and reset the password. And they were able to not only get their information, but they were actually able to use that computer that they thought they would never be able to use again, or they would have to wipe it and start all over. And so that was worth $150. Imagine if I did 10 of those a day. Yeah, you think about how much money that is. Just being real. That's just one of the things that you can do, even on your own with the most basic skills. So here's what I teach. The basics of ethical hacking, meaning, some of the things we talked about before, using your tools, how to build your machine, assessment and discovery, attacking part 1, attacking part 2, which is rev hacks, and then closing the hack. I'm going to get into detail. So when it comes to the basics, we talk about what is a hack. We've talked about that already. The elements of an ethical hack. We've talked about that too, but I reinforce it because that's what you always have to keep in mind, how you're going to do this. Setting up your lab. Again, you set up the same lab that I have. My practice lab is your practice lab. Plain and simple. Maintaining your lab, because again, as I said, things change all the time in this field and you want to know. So number 2, we're going to talk about your tools, the basics of your hacking box. We're going to teach you how to do command stuff in Linux, Kali Linux, which is what I call the Swiss Army knife of ethical hacking, of hacking period, because everybody uses Kali Linux period or something like that. Using the Metasploit framework, which everyone uses. Everyone uses Metasploit. Every hack that you've seen, they've probably used Metasploit one way or the other. Eternal Blue. Look up Eternal Blue and see what that is. All right. Hack the box. We teach you even how to find other places to practice the things that you learned. Again, because I never want anybody to get in trouble doing the things that I've taught. Our assessment and discovery, information gathering, how to find out, stuff on Instagram. I go through what Rihanna did in Ocean's 8 so that people can see, the realness of what we do. Port and protocol discovery. Basically showing, as I talked about, what ports are open, what's running on those ports, and how to bypass and how to scan machines and networks without them even knowing what you're doing. Identifying vulnerabilities, meaning, when you do see that something is running, how do you know that it's vulnerable and how do you know how to attack it? Attacking part one, exploitation, how to get into websites, how to control what traffic is there, how to hack the person sitting next to you, all of that type of stuff. Password attacks, client side scripts, web attacks. We do social engineering, we do SQL injection, wireless attacks, post exploitation, all of that. Then, of course, putting it all together, because this is where the money lies. How to develop that report, because companies pay for the report. Evidence maintenance, as you go through, making sure that you're capturing everything that you do. Reporting, when you're delivering these reports, how to get management to be down with what you're saying. Presenting, how to make the right PowerPoint presentation, how to do all that stuff. Then restoration, how when you're there, getting things back to where they were. Like you can't just leave a place that you were penetrating. You have to leave it better than it was when you got there. So how does a class work? So we do 4-hour instructor-led class. So during this 4 hours, this is what you get. Myself and the interns, my assistants, help to guide you through any questions or concerns in real time. Hands-on interactive lessons, in custom-made labs, so that you don't even have to worry about building your own labs. Optional enhanced lessons led by the intern set. So things that are outside of the classroom, like if you want to build an AWS, this, that, the other. If you want to do something on Hacker Bootcamp, all of that, the interns will be doing that with you as well. So as we talked about, what if that time does not work? So what I'm doing is live moderated replays every evening from 5 to 9, meaning I'll play the lesson from that morning, that evening. And during that time, you're not even on your own. You'll be able to ask questions just as if it was being shown live, and myself and my staff will be there to answer the questions for you. And also, if neither one of those times work, then we do still have on-demand replays. Like on-demand replays, meaning you'll be able to play the entire class with the questions and answers on demand at your leisure, and you'll even have access to that post class. All right. Now I know you're curious about the price, like how much does it cost? Because I ain't doing all this for free, right? But let's go ahead and talk value, right? So how much would it be worth for you to be able to put on your resume proficient in cybersecurity or ethical hacker, that type of stuff? And I can tell you right now that you go ahead and put that on your LinkedIn if you want, and see and watch how your inbox be blowing up with people trying to give you jobs. Because like I said, I have an inbox full of offers. I have my phone ringing off the hook from numbers I would never recognize, from people I would never work for. And I haven't even updated my resume on Monster, LinkedIn, Job Hunter, all that kind of stuff in years. So here's what you would pay on the open market. So the first course I took was $3,000, and that was like 8 years ago. So that the prices have more than doubled. And even self-paced online courses can cost nearly $2,000 for all this, just the information, not the support. And in most cases, you won't get all the information that I'm giving you in this one course. They want you to take more and more and more. And because of the demand in the market, like I said, the job market is there. People want to do this. The content that I'm sharing, I was told that I shouldn't charge less than $2,500 per person. You don't believe me? Just yesterday, this is what I pulled down. And it has the same thing: instructor-led class, official courseware, labs and exam, remote classroom, the exact same dates that I'm doing. And you'll see 5 days, $4,000. So I'm not even, so I'm not even sizing. I'm not making stuff up. Like this is a screenshot I got from someone else. I said, let me go ahead and, search and see what people are doing. So, and I'm not even charging close to that. And trust me, once this class is over, you probably will not hear from your instructor again. And that's nearly $4,000. And I can tell you right now, I don't disappear after I teach. I'll still be around. And I'm not even going to charge you all that. I'm not even going to be like, hey, I'm going to do $39.94. Nah, that's not me. So because I know times are tough, and a lot of people are doing this in order to change their current situation. And I know that the demand is so high that I could probably, sell this to a company or corporation for this price. If they want me to come and train their people how to do ethical hacking in 5 days, I could probably get $5,000-$10,000 per person doing what I do. But that's not the whole story, and that's my version of. But wait, there's more. as I said before, you will get on-demand access for an entire year, not just during the class. After that, you'll be able to do it. And these courses, because the courses are so intense, sometimes you want to go back and watch them again. It'll give you the opportunity to really understand and dig in. You can go along at your own pace. And normally getting just a on-demand class like this with all of what I'm giving you could be easily $900. Next is what I call my digital dorm room, and I use the great James Hall from Hampton University to do it, because that's why I stayed right here in the middle, where you're able to work with the interns, your fellow students, to ask questions, get assistance. So many times in our dorm room, it's a private Discord chat. They ask questions and I may not even see it, and another student will jump in and say, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that," and that is welcome. Cheat off of each other. We're doing hacking, so no one knows everything. It's really good to work together in getting things, and then you get daily updates on real-time happenings in the cybersecurity world. And just to be a part of this community, most people would pay $2,000. So we've already talked about the $2,500 of the course is worth, then the $1,500 for on-demand access, $200 for the digital dorm room, and then another bonus, which was not my final idea. It wasn't for me. The interns made this happen. On-site interactive ongoing labs, meaning weekly after the class is done. We're doing real life scenarios based upon new hacks that come out, multiple mock servers that you can continuously attack at your leisure, walkthroughs to learn different things. We'll do hack the box, try hack me, hack this site, all of that stuff. You'll be working together doing that. And that's probably the most valuable part of this entire offer, because remember when I told you what it takes is always be willing to learn. And we help you to continuously be willing to learn by continuously doing these things. And that in and of itself is $3,000. Again, up to a year. Every week, somebody walking you through a hack. Let's be serious. That is amazing. That is amazing. All right. So all of that is a total value of over $6,000. So I'm not even just talking about the class. I'm talking the class plus on demand, plus dorm room, plus weekly interactive labs. And with this class, I'm also doing a bounty program. So starting day 3, there'll be a $500 bounty open to all students. So yes, you'll be able to win $500 by putting the skills that you've learned immediately by hacking me. And you'll be able to get $500, no questions asked. When you get it, it's yours. So you can even end up earning most of it back, because I still haven't told you the price. You're going to flip when you see the price. Like, I can't believe it. And I'm like hesitant to press this button because I don't even want to show you the price, because it really is that low. All right. So the truth of the matter is you can get it right now for this once in a lifetime price. I promise you, I'm never going to have it this low again for my boot camp. The next time I do a boot camp, it will be higher. As a matter of fact, it may go up the next time I do this presentation. I don't know. But if you go to bootcamp.learnfromahacker.com, you can pay right now, and one payment of $797, which is or 2 payments of $450. You end up saving over $100 for one payment. But I'm still not finished, because I really want you to have success, because that makes me look good. I want you to go out and tell everybody about how much you learn. Everyone who successfully completes this course will receive $100 back. Yes, everyone who successfully, meaning you go through all the courses and you pass the practical. If you go through all of that and you pass the practical and the written tests, which are meant to be passed, I don't make it so that you don't like too hard to pass. Everybody who tries will be able to do it and get through it. But you will get $100 back. Plain and simple. I want to put that back into your pocket to show that your learning really mattered. I'll put it right back in there. That's what I do. So as we move forward, let me show you what to expect when you purchase, because I want to remove any doubt about the buying process, because I am a hacker. So I know that sometimes people be trying to fake stuff. You're not going to fake my site. This is it right here. It's a secure payment server right here. And you'll be able to, either do the payment plan or the one-time payment of $797, and whichever one you do is fine with me. But whichever one you do within the next 24 hours, you will receive this. Remember, I talked about this earlier, the hard drive that I use. And again, this is my favorite one to use in the field, because I can turn pretty much any computer into a hacking machine. I can bypass client logins, uncover, delete a file, perform cyber forensics. So you're getting all of that for today's price of $7.97. And yes, I do guarantee quick results because from day one, you'll have a fully functional hacking machine. So that's about it, y'all. I don't have much else to say. I've put it out there. I know that it'll benefit you because it's benefited me. I'm taking you down the same journey that I took myself. And so I want you to be successful. I want you to have the opportunity. Again, should you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will be here to help you. I'll be answering, questions in the comments for as many times as they come. So that's about it. Go to the website right now. Get the getting while the getting is good.